I've seen women that are unhappy, but they will still make the effort and they still feel obliged to keep fighting for it and staying there. And you're like, but why?
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah and I am a co-active life coach as well as the host for MindPod. This is a place where I will be inviting interesting human beings to explore an idea. There's no right, no wrong, just browsing. So let's see what we can stir up. Our guest today is Elina Katsistamatou, who is a Greek living in Germany, working in the shipping industry. And she's been in a happy, committed relationship for the last 4 years. So let's invite her in. Hi, Elina.
Hi, Sarah.
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. How are you? I'm really happy to see you.
Me too, me too. I'm good, thank you. So, with Elina, we're going to talk about romance and we're going to look into the dating scene or being in a committed relationship. We're going to cover marriage later in the next topic. So, how do women look at romance these days? So, Elina, I feel like majority of us women cherish being in a romantic relationship. It's not something that we feel uncomfortable. So I feel like from a younger age, we do believe that, in the future, we will end up with someone. But I've also seen women who fear getting attached to someone because they're afraid of getting hurt or feeling like someone has control over their emotions. So there's two different kind of, outlook on romantic relationships. So what are your thoughts on how women look at romance these days?
I think that this is very different for every woman, and I think that women nowadays are more open in having different relationships. And I have seen also from many friends of mine that women feel more comfortable staying in a long-term relationship, or we always have in mind exactly what you said, that we will end up with your better half and we will spend our lives with them for the rest of our lives. I think
Yeah.
this is something that most of the women still think, but I have seen also that this has changed a lot. And I think women, by being more independent nowadays, they're also maybe afraid that at some point staying with someone for a long time will control of what they want to do in their life, or like depending on the job that they're having, whether this is going to be a factor that will take them a step back. And I think that for a lot of women it's quite scary also.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is that yes, there are different kinds of relationship, whether it be a committed or an open relationship where women have choice these days more than before. But there is also a concern where a committed relationship can control you somehow.
Their relationships have changed a lot compared to the past. You were not allowed to date a lot and choose. You would date for, I don't know for how long, but you would just date one person and then somehow you would have to make it work.
Yeah.
And then stay with this person forever or for a very long time at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now it's quite different because now you get the choice, you get to date more, you get to know more people. So you get to make your own choices of what you want into your life. How do you see the other person? What is the best for you?
Yeah. And you get to choose when you want to settle.
Coming from Greece, I can see that there is still a more traditional way of dating scene, or of when women should settle, or when women should get married. So I think that for a lot of women, there is still a bit of a social pressure on the timing, but in any case, compared to the past, there is freedom of choice. I think that a lot of women can choose when they're ready and when they feel comfortable of settling down and staying into a committed relationship.
And when do you think women are ready to be committed romantically these days?
This depends on the person that you find or the person that you're dating and how they make you feel.
Hmm.
I think that every woman has a few, not a few boxes, I would say, but a few like things that they're looking to find in the other person, like a few values to be shared, or to have the same view for the future or where you want to go. And once they find this and they feel more comfortable, more secure, that they're getting what they need from the other person, then it's easy for them to go into a relationship, into a romantic relationship.
Hmm. Yeah. So I like that you said, they need to feel secure.
Mm-hmm.
But secure about what?
How you would feel secure is
Mm.
to see in the person that you're dating that they have the values that you need in order to be with someone. Of course, you need to have fun. Of course, you need to enjoy the time with the other person, but to be ready to get into a committed relationship, I think you need to take it a step further.
So there's a lot of things that we expect from men, right? And
It's a lot. It's not an
it's
easy thing. It's not an easy job that they have to do, seriously.
no.
We have these demands from men, but of course, this is something that goes both ways,
Hmm.
because you would need to do the same thing for the other person, right? It's not only that we ask for it, but of course, you have to be ready to give it back. If you don't want to be in a controlling relationship, you shouldn't want to control the person that is next to you.
100%.
It's not easy.
No, it's not easy.
And it takes a lot of work, not only in the relationship, but I think that with yourself, because in order for you to ask for someone to respect your needs, you need to be first able to identify your needs, to identify what you want to do, to identify how you see yourself into a relationship and your needs. And yeah, it's a work with yourself first as well, I think.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a lot of self growth in before you get into a relationship and also when you're in a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you think chivalry is dead?
I do believe it's appreciated, but I think that the form has changed a bit.
Hmm.
I do think that everything that someone does for you is something to be appreciated, right? I mean, you don't take everything for granted, and every moment that someone steps out of the ordinary, it should be appreciated. But I think that it has changed because, for example, for me, opening the door or like buying roses on Valentine's Day, it does not mean much.
Hmm.
One day, for example, I was coming back from work and it was raining, and my boyfriend called me and he knew that I don't have an umbrella with me, and he
Mhm.
said, should I walk and come and pick you up to take you back with the umbrella? And that's a moment of like someone being romantic. That's what I think, that it's
Hmm.
romantic. In order for to be romantic and polite, you need to be able to identify what adds value or what makes the other person feel appreciated. Just a gesture that is considered romantic because this is what we've learned and this is what we see from movies and from social media, that bringing you flowers is me being in a committed relationship and I appreciate you. But then if I lie to you and then I bring you a rose, does this make sense? For me it doesn't.
Hmm. Yeah, I think there's a bigger picture here. We're not saying that giving a rose to a girl is not nice, but we're saying that there are more important things or something that's even more appreciative than receiving a rose.
If as me as a woman I really love roses and I really love flowers and this makes my day, and then you bring me flowers and I'm happy, it's a very important move. You know what I mean? I mean that it's not the same for everyone, and everyone should look into their partners and into what they considered as a romantic gesture and then try to do that.
So, our generation, we are very much privileged and very much happy with the freedom of independence that a woman can have. It's mandatory for girls to be educated in a lot of countries, get a job, get interviewed, regardless of the gender, and that's great. We can take care of ourselves financially. We also can start supporting families. So that gave us a lot of confidence boost. And it also gave us, to a certain point, assertiveness, right? So with this energy of I have a choice, I have an option, I get to make a decision, how does that impact the romance? So I know how girls become when they are in love with their partner or when they are having crushes. They become prettier. They start putting prettier clothes. There's a lot more feminine energy go in. I've also seen an extreme case where a man's trying to be a gentleman and try to opens the door, and some girls go like, "Why'd you do that? I can do it myself."
For example, for me, for someone picking up the bill every time that we go to a restaurant, I don't appreciate it. I mean, why would you do that? I I can pay my own bills. I am independent enough. I make my own money and I can make my own choices. So if you do it once or whatever, then next time I will do it because I want to be in an equal
Equal.
relationship. Yes, meaning that just to make sure I don't need you to do that. I appreciate it, but here I am showing that I could also do that.
Why do you do that?
This comes from the fact that I wouldn't want myself to be in a relationship that someone thinks that I need them. I need them for any reason. It's a different thing that I make the choice to be with you because I am in love with you. I have fun with you. I can see myself being with you. But it's another thing if for me you think that you are there and you can control, for example, I don't know, it would be very simple, like the choices of which restaurant we're going to, because you are the one that is going to pay the bill in any case. So you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I would like to be in a relationship that everyone makes choices and everyone does things because they can and they want to, not because you need to agree with something or you need to agree with the other person's choices just because you need to. Also,
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, on the dating scene, when you're out and men come and say that I could buy you a drink to talk to you, I don't like that. I don't want you to buy my drink to talk to me. I don't need
Yeah.
you to buy a drink for me to be able to talk to me. You are able to talk to me in any case, and if I find you interesting, then we can talk.
Mm.
It has the feeling that, okay, I buy you a drink, I do something for you, so you are now obliged to stay and talk to me. No, I'm not. I can pay my own drink, and then that's it.
There are girls who expect the man to pay on their first dates.
Yeah, there are a lot of women that expect that. I have friends that they think that, okay, I would like to find someone that eventually can also support me financially.
Yeah, that's still there. So there's like all this different ways of thinking now. So there's the whole, yeah, I expect the man to take care of it, and then there's no, I don't need that.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then this is why we make it difficult for them, because it's confusing and they're like, yes, we have so many different women with different opinions, with different needs, and you should be able as a man to identify who your partner is or in which category they fall under.
Absolutely. I think, like you said, when you have conversations and when you listen, you will be able to pick on that person's preferences or how they view certain things. And based on that, you can kind of reflect like, okay, do I have that? Can we both actually make this happen together? Or do you want to even make that happen together? Or is it something completely different from what you expected? Men cannot expect um, a certain woman to become something completely different. Also, women cannot expect the same thing from a man. Do you know what I mean? So, just as an example, if you are dating someone who's been a supermodel all their life, you can't expect them to become a scientist.
No, you cannot. The problem there is that we meet people and then we sometimes do not really want to see what's there, but you have an image of what you would like to have.
Mm-hmm.
And then
And then what do
you
you do?
have created,
You mold
yeah,
it.
and then you're trying to shape the person, but this is something that cannot be done. Same as you cannot expect to change a woman that is a CEO to a housewife. We cannot expect at the same time exactly what you said, a person to change so dramatically to fit into the image that you have created.
So when you're in a relationship for a very long time with someone, let's say you've spent like 5 years together, and that person had a drastic change. So someone who was who was very introverted is all of a sudden now wanting to travel the world and start hiking and socializing with all these people. And as a partner, you go like, whoa, this is not someone that I knew. So then what happens? So personally, my opinion, if you don't like the change, then you have the option to walk away. Or you can try out how this is going to work because that person is growing, maybe not in the way you expected, but that's what happens when you are in a long relationship. You do start seeing the person grow. It's part of being with that person for a long time. I mean, none of our friends or our family stay forever the same.
The same. That's true. And you know what? But I think that this is something that it's the beautiful part about relationships as well. I mean, you always have the choice to walk away if you don't like what you see, or if you don't like what your partner has turned into. But the fact that the person next to you is growing and they want to have a different way to live their lives, I think it's something beautiful. And I think that it's something that makes a relationship interesting and not boring. I wouldn't imagine to stay with someone for a very long time and they're the same person with the same needs, with the same routine in their lives for the rest of my life. It would be crazy. It would be like, no, why?
Yeah.
Let's try to do something different. I want to try. I want to grow. I want to become always a better self of mine. I want to do that. So why wouldn't I want the same thing for my partner? It can be difficult and it can be scary and it needs a lot of work and it needs to, it requires you to be able to adjust, to rethink, to re-evaluate your life and your choices. But
Yeah, we're not saying it's easy.
no,
You might be able to experience something completely different with the same partner that you have just because that person is adventurous or they found another way to grow.
it can benefit also yourself, right?
That's if you think that's a benefit. But if you feel that the person is turning into someone that you had never imagined. So for example, if, your partner goes like, "Hey, I'm going to become a rock star." Is that going to be a good thing for you? Or is that going to be like, "Oh my God, like I can't."
Oh my god, why are you doing this to me? Why do
Exactly.
you want to be a rock star? Yeah, but on the other hand, you don't want the other person to be happy. How can you be in a happy relationship if my partner wants to become a rock star and I am blocking him because he's not the same person that I've known? I don't know.
Yeah.
I would not be able to, like, I don't know, forgive myself if you have a wish to become a rock star and I'm there, I'm like, no, please do not change, because when we first met, you were just I don't know, a doctor, and now you want to become a rock star. I cannot deal with this.
Hmm.
And then the person next to you is miserable because all they want to do is to go and do concerts and have a lot of people like singing for them, and you're not allowing this. I
Yeah.
don't think it's fair. And okay, if the other person becomes a rock star and you don't like the lifestyle anymore, or you cannot follow it, or it makes you miserable, then again, you have always the choice to walk away.
Hmm. Yeah. Again, walking away is not easy.
And no,
No.
nothing is easy.
Nothing is
Walking
easy.
away is not easy. Staying in a relationship is not easy.
Yeah.
Nothing is easy.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's only easy in movies. That's it.
Yeah. Reality and movies, that's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a big gap there.
So, let's move on to the next question. Where do we desire men to lead in a romantic relationship today? So, I think we've covered pretty much a lot of it. One is the whole, listen and see what that person appreciate in terms of a gesture. Um, but like I think it's also confusing for men to know what a woman wants them to lead with, because we tell them, don't control us, don't tell us what to do, let us be us. Right? But then we want you to be nice, we want you to be supportive. So
Ah, again, not easy.
not easy.
Where do we want them to lead? Do we want them to lead somewhere, or do we want to do all the leading nowadays? That's also another question. Like, do we want them to?
So I've got a few things which I would like a man to lead. So for example, instead of telling us this is what we're gonna do, I would see suggestions as a part of leading. So it's a partnership, but it's also leading. It's like, hey, I found this thing. It looks fun to try. How about we try this on this weekend? And then it's a yes or no.
I was thinking also the same thing, that what I usually ask from my partner is come up with suggestions.
Exactly.
Don't tell me we're doing this weekend, because maybe I like it, but still I will say like, maybe I have another another suggestion. But yeah, why don't you come up and say like, I thought of doing that this weekend, how do you feel about it? Or I thought that our next trip, for example, would be this one. What do you think? I think,
Exactly.
yeah, that's but this again, it's not that they are leading, it's more that they're suggesting.
So I think leading has a very different term now. If you ask your mom, for example, you know what she will tell. Yeah, I know a man should lead in taking care of the house financially and fixing the cars and, the manly stuff.
Changing the light bulbs and yeah, but nowadays we can do all these things.
We can hire people and pay.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. No, but I think that for me, leading, I don't receive it positively. When you are in a relationship, there's going to be things that you lead as a woman and the man leads, like in the relationship, but then again, it's not what we know, like financially, blah blah blah. It changes depending on what the the needs are. Sometimes when I'm thinking of like someone to lead in some respect is when, for example, I cannot make a choice, or I would like someone to lead and say, okay, you know what, you cannot make a choice on the thing, I can help you, and let's do that.
Mm.
Because I am, as a person, I cannot choose between two things. I can spend days and days thinking about it or overthinking about situations. Should we get a cat or should we not get a cat or whatever? Then I want someone to come and say, you know what, Elena, this is what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
thank you, thanks for helping me.
I would consider that as taking initiative and making decisions. And that's different from control, right? So
Yes.
he's not saying, hey, you do need a car, so you're going to get it. It's more of like he understands, yes, I know she needs a car. She doesn't know what to pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So I'm
So
going to
I
help.
will help her pick, or she is overthinking about this car, like a choice whether to buy it or not, for so long that she's not happy. So I will help her make the decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And then again, the decision is yours. It comes back to you. And what about planning?
I think it's important to be part of every decision or every aspect of your everyday life. they also need to be part of that with their decisions and with their input anyway, and their opinion. I want to have their opinion. I want to, of course, I want men to say, yes, I would like, or I'd rather do this or that.
It sounds like you're looking for a partnership.
Yes.
Mutual agreement.
Mutual agreements, but with suggestions coming from their side as well.
Absolutely. And I would say continue impressing the girl you're dating. So that's another thing. What can men lead? Keep doing the things that you used to do when you first met the girl and you wanted to impress. Like, some guys, they just stop.
Now we're together. That's it. I can just relax and play PlayStation. No.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yes, but it's also, yeah, you're right. It's also true. I mean, you cannot just, but this is also from our side, right?
Mm-hmm.
You cannot just like be someone in the beginning, then try your best anyway, and then give up, or just, that's why you have to be honest with yourself as well, like from the beginning, and with the other person, to show
Absolutely.
them what you are. Because if I'm making such a big effort in the beginning, and then this is not me, because I'm not usually like this, I'm just making the effort, and then I give up, then the other person will be like, okay, what happened now? It's 2 months, and then you're a completely different person. And if you see, or if you notice things that makes the other person like enjoy more their relationship, you should also try to do that throughout the relationship, and not give up after 5 months or whatever, a year or 2 years. The longer you stay, the more difficult it becomes, right? To go out of your way to keep impressing the other person, or to keep like having this I don't know, this parts that makes your like stomach have butterflies. But I think that this is something that women put on themselves as pressure. I don't think that men would bother that much because you didn't do your nails again. It's just that we put this pressure on ourselves. We try to create this image that we think that it's like likable, or more likable anyway, like from men. And we put so much pressure, and in the end it's not worth it. You cannot keep up with this with these things for a very long time. It's very difficult. It takes so much from your time. It's almost impossible.
I've also seen some videos on YouTube where like the girls will like stuff up their bra with the socks, right? Just to see if the guy's gonna notice, if their guy's gonna notice and say something about their breasts. Most of the guys don't notice.
No, because they don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, they do. We know that they care in general, but I don't think that when they're in a relationship, what they're looking at is your eyebrows or my nails or anything.
Yeah.
They just like you the way you are. They don't really see these small details. I think we see the details
Yeah.
way more than they will be ever able to notice.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We make these things big in our head.
We do. We do.
My boyfriend cannot even tell the difference between having makeup or not. And I'm like, I can see a huge difference here. I don't know how you cannot notice it.
Yeah, yeah. And there's also the thing between the girls, right? Sometimes we dress up not for men but for other women, or how to look in front of other women.
It's a competition, but not with for men. It's with women. That's correct. I think that you always want to do things also to feel more comfortable with yourself, or to feel prettier, or to feel sexier, or whatever. But then I do think that sometimes we don't realize that this is for us or for other women to notice or whatever. But men, in the end, the one that we are supposedly want to impress, anyway, if they love you or if they're in love with you, heels will not change the way that they look at you.
Yeah. So, how do women perceive men in 2020?
For most of my friends, usually when they meet new guys and stuff, there is a lot of question marks when it comes to commitment. That's one category out there, afraid to be committed. Most of the people are very comfortable with the first steps, like dating, seeing each other. And even if this seeing each other becomes something more committed, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, like you start having a routine and you meet more often, and like you're going out more often, you're meeting each other's friends. But then women would still wait until they're asked the question of, are you gonna be my girlfriend now, or are we together? Or if you throw yourself in there and you ask as a woman the man, so where are we now, then there is then the disaster comes, and I don't know why. Although you have been spending like months seeing each other regularly, not dating other people, but then when the question comes, or the phase that, okay, we say to each other now that we are in a committed relationship, everything falls apart. And they're
Yeah.
like, no, and I don't want anything to change between us and stuff like this.
Yeah, so I'm definitely not one of those people who are afraid to be committed. Um, I had a few guys that I would have liked to be in a committed relationship with, and they were not ready, even though they liked me. So the moment I check with them and I see where they are, I leave. Because if someone is not looking for having a future that I envision, which is settling, getting married, whatever, then for me it's a time wasted. No matter how much I like the person, I'm not gonna spend not knowing where this is going if you're not ready. Then we're in a two different timeline here.
Yeah, that's also true, but it depends again on, if you know what you want and the
Exactly.
other person doesn't, then it doesn't make sense, right?
Yeah,
Why would you
absolutely.
spend time just like trying to have what you want and not getting it because the other person is not, the timing is not
Yeah.
there for them.
Yeah, I never felt like, oh my god, this person doesn't love me. No, sometimes we can like each other and have to go a separate way, and that's okay. It's not easy.
No, and that's the hardest part, when you like someone and just the timing is not right.
Yeah, it
When you
happens.
like someone, you love them, you could see yourself with them, but then the timing is not correct. If the timing was correct every time, everyone would end up with like thousands of relationships. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like sometimes it is what it is, right? There are people that you're gonna date and you're gonna end up in a relationship with them. There are people that they will not like you, or whatever, they will not want to be with you even, and that's okay. What It's not anyone's fault, right? No, not everyone likes us, and we don't like everyone.
Yeah. So I think timing is very important. And I've seen many girls who would go like, if only. I know girls who have been in a relationship with someone who was married. They know it's not going anywhere, but they choose to be around. And I'm like, what makes you stay there? And they go like, if only I met him before he got married, we would have been together. I'm like,
But you didn't.
a reality is you didn't.
And then again, I think this comes back to the fact that we create images, or we want to believe that something will change. This is the part when you really need to face the reality, and it's not easy. For You need to take a step back and look at your choices and why you're doing this, because I think that it's not just the timing. You make a choice, but it's not, if only I've met them in a different stage of their life or whatever. You need to look deeper.
Yeah. And what does looking deeper look like?
If we continue talking for this example, for example, like, I mean, why would you choose to be with someone that it's not 100% available for you? like that cannot ever be, not ever, but at the moment and for like long time cannot be there for you? Why do you make this choice? Does this cover your needs, or does this makes you feel happy? Like, where does this come from? Why would you choose to be with a man that you know that most of the nights is going back and sharing the same bed with another woman that is his wife?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what does this mean for you? How does this affect you, or why is not affecting you? Because, for example, I would never be comfortable knowing that my partner shares the bed every other night with another woman. I would never be comfortable with that. So how's
that okay?
How is that okay? Do you think that you are lacking something and it's okay for you to be in a relationship that is not giving you 100%?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So many questions when you dig deeper. All these questions that you've just said is self-reflection. Why am I putting myself in this position? What am I benefiting?
Yeah, it's all about self-reflection. I also think that there is so many women that are in a relationship that doesn't make them happy, but still they're staying there and they're fighting for it, and they're like, I've seen women that are unhappy, but they will still make the effort and they still feel obliged to keep fighting for it and staying there. And you're like, but why? I always wonder, do you think that you're good enough to have something else, something better, or you think that something is missing and this is the best that you could do, so then you better fight for it, because who knows, maybe then you will stay alone forever and you don't want that. I think that this is, I don't know, very difficult questions to be answered, and you need to look always, everyone, I think that even if you are in a happy relationship, you always need to look into yourself and see what really makes you happy, what would you need to change or not.
What are the things women would not tolerate in a man, or should not? It can go both ways. So personally, I've put cheating. So cheating is something I don't agree with. And I'm not talking about those people who are in an open relationship where they've had the conversation, they both agree, and they go out and see anyone that they prefer. I'm not talking about polygamy, but those people who are in a committed relationship and they decided to stick just with each other like penguins, right? Yeah. So personally, for me, cheaters are very unfair. And what I mean by unfair is that, so you want to be in a committed relationship and get all the values, all the benefits of being in a committed relationship this person is willing to give you, and you are not brave or courageous enough to give him or her, in this case for her, yeah, the choice. This is who you are. This is what you want. And is she going to be okay with it?
Yeah. And then if they are, like, go ahead and enjoy do what you want to do, and then you will feel much better as well, because you're not hiding or like, yeah, hiding stuff from the other person. But then I think that also for me, like, if your partner is lying to you for anything, I don't appreciate lies at any, not only for cheating, but in general. Like, why would you lie to the person that is next to you, that you share your life for every single thing? I don't like this at all. This is something that I don't tolerate. And cheating, of course, is one of the main parts. I think that you have to be honest with the other person, because then we're all so different. Because another woman could say that, okay, you know what, if someone cheats on me, then I would forgive it. This is an opinion as well, and this is a way to live, but give me the choice to say if I would be okay or not. Also, with lying, if you lie to me, then you don't give me the choice to say if I don't agree with what you do. No one is perfect, right? It's there is the dark side as well. And we need to be comfortable enough, if you are like sharing your life with someone else, to express every aspect from yourself. And it's not nice also, like for me, when I'm not kind and nice, and when I'm not like I don't know, when my dark side comes on the surface, I also don't like it. I mean, I
Exactly.
don't
It's not like we
enjoy.
enjoy it.
Yeah, no, I'm not happy with myself at all, but this is who I am, and it's there, and we should be comfortable sharing that. I know that I don't expect the other person to like that part of myself. Like, if I don't like it, why would you? I would think that you're crazy if you'd like my dark
Crazy
side.
side.
But still, yeah, yeah. But still, it's not nice if you're getting judged. Not at all. Sometimes it's unavoidable. And then, you know what? For me, it's like, even if you judge me, I want to feel comfortable to say to you, that's not cool because you're judging me.
Yeah.
And then, okay, because I will be judgmental at some point, I'm sure. I'm sure that I will do it. But I expect from the other person to say, Elena, that's not cool.
Yeah, be honest, right?
Yeah.
You're not in their head.
No, they shouldn't be in my head as well. That would be very scary.
I've had an ex, when he would be upset, he would tell me, yes, I'm upset, and you should know why. And I'm like, but if I knew, I wouldn't be asking you.
Yeah, why would I do it or keep doing it intentionally?
Yeah. So I was like, what are you talking about? And he would never tell me.
Then it doesn't make sense, because it's like there is a situation, there is an issue, and you don't want to do something about it, and you don't want to solve it. So for me,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense. If you get upset, if I don't like something, if you don't like something, we should be able to say, hey. And that's the commitment, right? Things change, things come up that you don't know, but I made a commitment to be with you, so I want to get to know also these things that come up once per year.
Yeah. I mean, if your dark side is up in your face all the time, we're not talking about that. If someone, is going through some hard time and it just comes out, then yeah, that's not something to be judged. That's something to get curious about,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes. And then you get to know each other more on a different level again.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna pause here and continue in the next episode. But what do you think so far? And until next time, bye bye.